This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 31, Weather Report.
Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Rest of Everest video podcast. I'm Jon Miller. Now, there's a lot of new subscribers this week, so please do me a favor and go back to episode 0 if you're just joining us, and work your way forward through the episodes. This entire podcast occurs in chronological order. Okay, that being said, I want to thank iTunes for designating the Rest of Everest as one of the best new shows of 2006. That's quite an honor, and I'm really pleased about it. It's just been so much fun to produce this podcast. Also want to thank everyone for sending me those great emails. The one consistent thing about all the emails that I get is that everyone is surprised that they hear back from me. I think that's sort of a sad state of affairs that people think I'm not going to email back. This show is for you guys, and I really mean that. And so if you have a question or just have something to say, hey, shoot me an email. I'll get right back to you, I promise. So let's head back up to base camp and revisit our dome, sweet dome, and let's check out this week's episode. Here we go. You can hear that the windstorm is still raging outside. This was the never-ending windstorm. These are a few photographs. This is about all that I was able to do, was sit around, and that was looks like my lens cleaning cloth. I was probably cleaning something there. And just stare off. You start to get fairly worn down. The windstorm at this point had gone on for over a week. And Ben was a little bored too. Got a little bit camera happy and decided to play with his new digital camera. Obviously, there's not too much to do at base camp but entertain yourself in any way possible. I would say that those photographs are for sale by Ben as well, but I can't speak for him.
The wind, it's 30 kilometers northwest, altitude 8,000 meters, 50 kilometers northwest, summit 80 kilometers northwest. Le 10, snowing all in the mountains. After, in the middle days, better weather, wind 40 kilometers northwest.
So this is one of the other mountain guides from another expedition. This is Denis. He had a French expedition. I've mentioned him before. We all became very good friends. And he had a subscription to a pretty in-depth weather forecast, and but had no computer to access it. So we let him use our computer, that's my laptop there, and our satellite modem, and allowed him, and so he got the access to the weather forecast, and then in return shared it with us.
Oh, I see. Very bad news if it's ready, because for after the 18, all time a lot of wind on the summit. Yes, you have to. Normally the prevision is not sure, but 15, 16, 17, 18, a lot of wind for west, 100 kilometers, 19, 20, 21, a lot of wind, 80 kilometers northwest.
The train is coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
Take it to ABC.
Yeah,
John, I something after 2 days. If it's possible, I call directly for after new
For more
news.
precise.
Yes, for precision. I think so. With this one, I not very enjoy it.
If you guys need to use the computer right now, go right ahead.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can use it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can check my email. I can check my email.
Pratiquement tous les après-midi. C'est bien ça, hein, en résumé.
Poor Denis.
It's too quick a seat.
I am mountain guide. You remember like that? I just not see at this moment.
Oh, poor guy. Of all the things
put
to
that
get
on your website.
captured on tape.
Yes.
So basically what he was saying there was that the weather forecast was just terrible for the immediate future. And this is when everyone was going to try to, wanted to start getting up there, getting their summer tents going. So this was a really big deal. that the weather was not going to be good.
Enjoy for the last
C'est marrant
time.
qu'il dise nord-ouest. Nord-ouest.
Just,
Mais non, il
I will to see my
nord-ouest.
email.
Go ahead.
Can you...
Il y en a 3 qui sont montés.
4.
Il y en a plus 5 qui sont là.
This reaction on Ben here is my favorite from the entire expedition. Wait for it.
Ils sont là.
Demain,
Tu parles qu'ils vont monter.
Dawa monte.
Dawa, il monte. Demain. Qu'est-ce que tu allais faire?
Damn, somebody.
What he was referring to is in that tent might have been large, but everyone's stomachs were definitely working on overtime with all the dysentery, and someone dropped a bomb. And as memory serves, Denis, about 10 seconds later, jumped up and ran outside, headed for the toilet. So I think it was Denis' turn to be the bomb dropper. But anyway, these are just some nice shots of Everest that I took, and I'm so pleased that I did this series of wide to close-up shots, because it's come in so handy. I've used it all over the place. You've probably already seen these shots if you've been following the episode. I opened one of the other episodes with them. But right there in the middle of the peak there, you can see this band of rock that's slightly different color. It's slightly yellowish. That's called the yellow band. So any of you might have heard of the yellow band. That's where it is. And the rock is different, and it's just a good landmark as you're climbing Everest to know where you are when you're in that band. You might have overheard Bertrand joking about how the train is coming tomorrow, and he kept joking that the weather was so bad, all he wanted to do was get on a train and go back home. And so that was sort of an ongoing joke with these guys, was the train comes tomorrow and I go. And just any way you can to try to break up the tension, because a lot of people had invested a lot of money to be there, and they're all ready to go. For a lot of us, we found out that our climbing equipment was still there, was still intact, and was just waiting to be used. But we still, the teams just could not leave and get up on the mountain because the weather conditions were still just too bad. And I think all told, we ended up waiting for about 9 days for the weather to clear up. And even though we had these nice, beautifully blue skies a lot of the time, it was just this massive windstorm, and the wind just never stopped. You can hear it there? You can hear me coughing. The wind just kicked up an incredible amount of dust, and the dust really infiltrates
Russell
and gets into your lungs.
TMA,
Here's
all of
Lhawang,
stuff
our
left
head
at the
Sherpa.
last camp. Deposit. They couldn't bring it down. Went up, come down, went up, come down. And then at the end,
All left on top.
all left on top. All the equipment.
And it's-
Next year they used the same equipment.
They found it?
They found it.
Not
Because the deposit where you're from. But if nobody summit,
That's
it's
life.
okay. That's life.
It's a law of the
Universe.
yes. It's a god of the
Yeah. But I'm sure from south side they will summit.
You think so?
Maybe.
This year?
Oh yeah, they will.
Why?
And for this side, what do you think?
I don't know. He said
Why do you think they can summit from south side?
the south side.
The wind will push them very quickly.
No. Up to South Pole, okay.
Yeah,
Even wind,
yeah.
not a big
After?
problem. After a big problem. So they need like maybe 2 days only window.
Yeah.
But for us, after North Pole,
Yeah,
we
4 days.
need a window from above 7,000 meters.
Yeah, you need 4 days
Yeah.
window.
Because from south side they need windows from 8,000 meters, so it's different. Oh, come. Oh,
There were always people poking their heads in and asking Lhawang questions. He was quite the expert at base camp.
Yeah.
He had a lot of friends.
Please
Not sure who that guy is, to tell you the truth. Wish I did.
We can power off the generator. 12 volts are off the generator.
Midnight. It's like wind, no good. And then again, from 7-9 to 8-5 also, we need like at least 3 days. Minimum.
Yeah, 3 days very short.
Yeah. At least.
But South Pole, 2 days you can do
2 days you could do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's
So-
all. Yes, yes.
No problem. South Pole, many wind. Little drop down ridge, yellow band, no problem.
John,
Sometimes it's good.
my email. What about?
Me,
They're all wanting to check their email and asking me how to do it. Oh, apparently that fellow came to make a phone call. Ben had the satellite phone, also in very popular demand.
Yeah, I'll leave tomorrow, so very early. Okay.
Celle-là. Celle-là, celle-là.
Sur le versant sud des Népalais,
2 jours flottant, ça
avec col sud au sommet, ça se fait dans la journée.
Là, il faut 3 ou 4 jours.
Tandis que d'ici, tu sais bien, du col nord au sommet, il faut au minimum 3 jours et il vaut mieux compter 4 et que la fenêtre de 4 jours, elle est...
Right now we go only to check the equipment and then put it properly because more wind coming.
Ouais, attention,
And then maybe
come down, come back.
and then carry some gas up higher and deposit very
I got work to do.
minimum gear. We're not gonna carry everything up there because if after we can't bring it down, then kaput, lose money.
Non, faut monter.
You notice throughout these episodes that when we're talking with all the different people at base camp, you end up talking with your hands quite a bit because obviously it's an international community and not everyone speaks English, and those who do don't always speak it very well. So Lhawang right there was really showing how it's done, that you really speak with gestures, and it works out very well. So, all right, so next episode, it's one of my fondest memories from base camp, and I really have to hand it to them. We ended up going over and having dinner the evening of this episode 31 podcast. We went over to Denis camp and had a really wonderful meal with all of his clients and his climbers, and just had a really, there's no other way to say it, was a lovely evening at base camp. And it was the final evening before the climb resumed, so it was a nice way to end this horrible windstorm. And so unfortunately for us, we are not going to see it next week. I am going to be going out of town for the Christmas holiday. I'm going to go to my wife's family in Illinois, so I will not be putting out an episode next week. But please hold on, because I will be putting out one the week of just after New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day, excuse me. And so that's when episode 32 will be posted. So it'll just be a week break, and then we'll be back to our regular schedule, so don't worry. So I hope you tune in for that, stay subscribed, and I just want to thank all of you for all of your support over 2006. It's been a great year, and I look forward to many more episodes coming in 2007. So take care, everyone. The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every week. If you enjoy watching and would like to show your support, then take a look at my website. Aside from having lots of additional blog entries from the expedition updated every week, there's this little donation button on every page. Now, many of you have pressed that button, and your generous contributions are helping to cover my hosting fees. If you haven't donated but would like to, then just contribute any amount. In return, I'll give you access to the video and audio dispatches I sent out while we were actually at Everest. It's pretty interesting stuff. Contribute $25 or more, and I'll even throw in an iPod-compatible version of the film Everest the Other Side. That's the project the entire podcast here is based on. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywu.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.